Joining us now is Ojinika Okpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jinex.
Good morning, Dr. Abati.
Good morning.
You know, over the weekend, I thought about you and I said, your children must enjoy you. You cannot stop, right? How are you?
I'm good.
Great. Good morning, Ayo. How was your weekend?
Very well. Very good. Thank you. How was yours too?
Great.
Oh, really?
Good morning, Rufai. How are you?
Morning, Oji, but we are enjoying Dr. Abati, yeah. It's children enjoying it.
Children, Nigerians, everyone.
It's definitely going to happen.
Absolutely.
Because, I think we need to do behind the scenes of this place to see the real Dr. Abati.
That would be fun. Well, all right. Good morning to you, viewers. Well, let's begin what's trending, shall we? With reactions trailing the ceremony to mark Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo's 1 year in office, which took place in Awka, the state capital. The event was attended by high-profile dignitaries, including Nigeria's former President Olusegun Obasanjo, Chairman of Ohaneze Ndigbo World Wide, Emmanuel Iwuanyanwu, and former Governor of Anambra State Peter Obi, who made a dramatic entrance during the ceremony, eliciting rousing applause.
The former governor is coming. Yeah. Thank you. I think today is a very, very special day. Yeah.
Well, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, while speaking during the ceremony, recalled his work with Professor Soludo, who he says performed so well as his economic advisor that he decided to send him to head the Central Bank of Nigeria. He also recalled appointing Dr Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who is the current Director General of the World Trade Organization, as his Minister of Finance. Obasanjo stated that at the time, someone told him that he made a terrible mistake by appointing Igbos to those positions. He then used the opportunity to condemn the persistent aversion to the people of Southeast extraction, which he describes as Igbophobia.
On one occasion, soon after I appointed him, somebody came to me and said, wow, you have ruined the economy of Nigeria. I say, how? He said, an Igbo woman, Minister of Finance, an Igbo man, Governor of Central Bank. Then you have really completed the task of running the economy of Nigeria. Now, I don't know why he said that, except for what I can call Igbophobia. And don't take that lightly. It remains, it persists. But when you have this type of thing that was said to me, and the type of thing that you know is going on, what I call, as I have just called it, what do we do with it? I believe we have to go back to the scripture, which says we must conquer evil with good.
Well, the chairman of Ohaneze Ndigbo World Wide, Emmanuel Iwuanyanwu, during the ceremony also took the opportunity to condemn the recent attacks on the Igbos in Lagos. His statement has, however, generated reactions from a cross-section of Nigerians. Let's take a listen before we come back for a discussion.
I saw the Trader Association coming here from Lagos. I want to let our people in Lagos to know that on Wednesday, I called a meeting of Ohaneze Council of Elders worldwide, and we x-rayed the events in Lagos. And I want to tell you that we have people who attended the branches in America, in Canada, in Europe, in London, and Nigeria. We have resolved, and I want those from Lagos to go home and tell those in Lagos, we have resolved that never again can we allow anybody to take the life of any innocent Igbo person. All of us are going to fight the person. We are going to fight the person. Never again. We are in Nigeria, and we have invested in Nigeria. Our investments are so much. We are not going to take the question of people telling us to go. We are not going anywhere. And I want to tell those in Lagos to realize that there is no war between us and Yorubas. Yorubas they're just political rascals, and we are going to handle them. The elders have directed Secretary General of Ohaneze Ndigbo Emuche to set up a commission of inquiry to find out things destroyed. People are going to pay.
Well, Dr. Bati Ayo-Rufai, a lot of people have condemned Iwuanyanwu's statement. Some have called him a bigot, and people have said that that particular sentence where he says Yorubas are political rascals was quite uncalled for. I'll take a tweet from Omotosho, who wrote, "Quite unfortunate that supposed political elites like Chief Iwuanyanwu have become so mean using sweeping language against an ethnicity, like he did yesterday in Awka. Things like Yorubas are just political rascals fall short of expectations from enlightened mind as him." Well, the National Publicity Secretary of Ohaneze Ndigbo World Wide, Alex Ogbonia, in a statement said that its chairman did not refer to the Yoruba race as political rascals, and that his speech was twisted by insidious minds who wished to create a rift between the Igbo and the Yoruba ethnic groups. He reiterated that Iwuanyanwu said that there is no war between the Igbos and the Yorubas, and that the chairman was only referring to those who attacked Ndigbo in Lagos as rascals, and that they should be arrested. Over to you, Dr. Abati.
Well, I think what is important is that, both Chief Emmanuel Iwuanyanwu and also Alex Ogbonia, speaking for the Ohaneze, have said we didn't refer to Yorubas as rascals, that he was referring specifically to persons who attacked Igbo persons in Lagos. But of course, we too here, we condemned what happened during the election, both on February 25 with attacks on certain persons, and also on March 18 when, persons were asked to leave Lagos if they will not vote for a particular party. But I think the statement that we can take away is that there is no fight between Igbos and Yorubas. However, nobody should be discriminated against, which is the bigger point, on the basis of ethnicity, on the basis of religion, on the basis of beliefs. That's what Section 42 of the 1999 Constitution says. Anytime you find people engage in ethnic baiting, ethnic profiling, ethnic hate, you'll find this kind of situation whereby, every group feels the need to stand up for itself. And that's why Chief Iwuanyanwu there, chairman of the Council of Elders of Ohaneze Ndigbo, saying that nobody should attack Igbos. I guess not just in Lagos, but anywhere in Nigeria. And you could see that what he said resonated with his audience. Afenifere has also asked him for clarification.
Yes, which is why they provided that clarification.
And so that has been given. Chief Iwuanyanwu himself is an investor in Lagos anyway. But the point is, he says there is no war between Yorubas and Igbos. However, the second leg of it, the point made by President Obasanjo at the event, he was talking about Igbophobia in Nigeria. And we've said it again and again, you know, that, look, in many parts of Nigeria, you would think that the civil war has not yet ended. There are parts of Nigeria where people say, oh, they don't want Igbo tenants. There will be parts of Nigeria say, oh, no, don't rent your shop to an Igbo man. So we do a lot of ethnic profiling. And we keep telling people, look at the example of Rwanda. The war between Hutus and Tutsis. It started by ethnic profiling. It started with ethnic hate. So that today, in Rwanda, under Paul Kagame, you are not required to identify yourself on the basis of ethnicity. And the man has been promoting football, you know, to see if he can use football to unite the country. And President Obasanjo knows what he's talking about. And when he says, he's citing the example of Soludo and citing the example of Okonjo-Iweala as persons, you know, who served Nigeria well when he was president. The whole point is that there are good people everywhere. There are bad people everywhere. It's just for us to be able to relate with each other with civility, with common sense, with moderation, since we don't have any other country other than this Nigeria. And he used the opportunity to commend Governor Soludo that he did so well, you know, that he promoted him and made him central bank governor, and that at no time did Soludo, either as economic advisor or central bank governor, give him wrong advice. Of course, at that time, one of the major criticisms against President Obasanjo then was that he had too many Igbos in his government. In fact, some people stretch it to a ridiculous point to say that, in fact, he's from Anambra State. I don't know whether you had that kind of story, but you also recall that that administration, you know, began this tradition of looking for the best and the brightest from anywhere in Nigeria and putting them in strategic positions. And that was why, you know, the Obasanjo administration was able, you know, to provide necessary leadership at that critical time in Nigeria's history. As for Governor Soludo, yes, congratulations to him. He has spent 1 year. He says he has been able to create jobs, recruit people in the health sector and also in the education sector, and that, you know, he will continue to do more. Of course, the people of Anambra State will be watching him closely. And you could see the reception that the presidential candidate of the Labour Party received. You know, people were excited to see him. Some governors, if they go to a gathering in the states that they used to lead, in fact, you think that nobody had arrived. The way they will be ignored, which means that when you lead and you lead well, the people will always show appreciation in and out of office.
Well said, Dr. Abati. Before I come to you, Rufai, in the meantime, Ndigbo residents in Amuodofin local government area of Lagos State are calling on the federal government to come to their aid against alleged victimization and intimidation by indigents in the area. The residents trooped out in protest on Sunday, claiming that the attacks, which began before the 2023 general elections, were intensified after the presidential and state elections. The protesters are also urging the Lagos state government to investigate the allegations and bring the culprits to book to avert future reoccurrence.
You see these people fighting against, or Agboro, I will call them Agboro because I couldn't understand what they meant by Igbo people should go or this, that, go to your town. You are not, we are the owner of Lagos, this, that. You sold land to people, they bought the land and built their house. Now you are telling them to go. For what reason? For what reason? From that bus stop, Babalola, to every destination inside here, all trucks, any vehicle that has load coming inside here, will meet up to 5 to 8 points where he paid on agreed money, amount of whatever they want, they collect based on what they see in the vehicle. We have been passing through all these things.
The problem has been here. We've been keeping silent for a very long time, but yesterday we just came out with full force. You understand? It has been happening. It wasn't the first time.
There was tension in the community prior to the election. So on the election day, they came out with all forms of threats, threatening voters, armed to the teeth. But at the end of the day, I think everybody had the right to cast his vote to any candidate of his choice. We are Nigerians. We are not against any party. As leaders, what we preach is peace and stability anywhere. So, but unfortunately, after that election, The harassment continued on that Saturday, 18th. They invaded so many houses, so many shops, snatching people's phone, robbing people of their valuables, macheting people after that election.
This is quite unfortunate and it needs to be addressed. Rufai.
This is highly condemnable. We'll call for peace and we'll call on the authorities to look into that matter. Truth has to be said. We need to remember that the problems we have and we face collectively is more than the sentiments that politicians try to put amongst us. Poverty does not know tribe, race, or religion. Wherever you are from, because of the failures, hitherto failures of successive governments, you are suffering poverty in Nigeria. Inflation does not know tribe, race, or religion. All of us as Nigerians are suffering the debilitating effect of inflation. Insecurity does not know tribe, race, or religion. We are all suffering all of this. It is only when it is convenient for politicians, they come and sow the seed of discord because of elections. Aren't you surprised that it is because of the election period we had all of this start up again? But afterwards, people live in peace and harmony across board. So what should we do? We as the people must decide to stop being used by politicians and come together and seek peace. Because we need one another one way or the other. A lot of people have argued that 1914 was an accident. Oh, why did we bring everybody together? The truth is, we can make this union work if we uphold the tenets of justice, solidarity, love for one another. And together we can do so much rather than all this ethnic bickering and fighting. Right. So please let us stop all these attacks. Let us call for peace. Let us all grow together and face the problem that bedevils all of us. Very soon, we will all have to come together and look for solutions as regards the hike in petroleum prices, how we are going to navigate. By then, we will not think of where we are from. We'll think of the collective problem that faces all of us as Nigerians. Please, let's come together.
All right, we'll take another story. Following a series of protests in Nasarawa State after Abdullahi Sule's re-election as the governor of the state in the March 18th poll, in which residents, including women, who stripped themselves naked, accusing the governor of rigging himself to power, the Nasarawa State Police Command has banned all forms of protests in the state. Videos shared on social media showed protesters brandishing cutlasses and sticks on the streets of Lafia, the state capital. The women, however, have remained on the streets. Some have placed curses on those who participated in denying them what they describe as their mandate.
What do we want our children to know? In this nation, for 63 years, we cannot come out and conduct free and fair election in this nation. What are we doing? We need our freedom. We want our children's 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 freedom.
I'm coming to you on this story. I don't know if you've seen those videos. I've been heartbroken just watching women stripping themselves naked on the streets to, demand for their mandate, and rightfully so. But this is quite a shame that the Nigerian police is banning protests in the state. I mean, I don't understand that, but let me take some reactions. I'll take a reaction from Peter Obi, who wrote, "The purpose of election is for citizens to participate in democratic governance through the representatives they elect. A grievous injustice occurs when citizens are denied the opportunity to vote in a free, fair, and credible process, or their mandate is stolen from them."
All right. Okay, so you cannot watch the videos you've mentioned without feeling very heartbroken, without feeling extremely sad for the plight of the people living in Nasarawa State. There must be a level of desperation that people would get to where they are willing to strip themselves of dignity. It's not just their clothes they're taking off. They're willing to lay aside all form of dignity to protest what they consider as an injustice. Now, in saying that the police in Nasarawa State have banned protest, I must also mention that the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria guarantees our right to peaceful protest. What is happening in Nasarawa, especially for the young people, as you've mentioned, Oji, is that the young people brandishing cutlasses and weapons and going on the streets. Put that side by side with the protest by the women who are there, and they are I mean, that's a peaceful protest.
Yes.
They're expressing their agitations and concerns, but they are not using weapons. Now, for the sake of security and the sake of peace in the states, the police or the state government can give orders like this because it is no longer a protest. It is now possibly going to degenerate into anarchy or a state of a breakdown of law and order. I'm glad that they shouldn't give a total ban on protest, because what the women are doing is within their rights. Let's not forget peaceful protests or agitations of women in nations like that led by Lima Gbowe of Liberia. If you watch that, you see just the power that women and the citizens have when it comes to protests and going through, if they don't want to go through the course because of lack of trust or perhaps they don't trust the process, they can protest. However, speaking to the young people in Nasarawa State, please drop your arms. You don't want to lose lives further because you are, dissatisfied with what is going on ground. You can protest. It's not against the law, but we must ensure that in protesting, we're not also endangering the lives of others. But I hope that INEC can see what's going on, because when people don't feel a sense of justice, they'll do desperate things to achieve that. But we condemn all forms of violence. Please don't go out protesting with arms or being armed. Protest peacefully, and your voices ought to be heard.
Well said, Ayo. Dr. Bati, really quickly on the Nasarawa women's protest. So we take our final.
What you were saying, the right to protest is covered under Section 40 of the 1999 Constitution, the right of peaceful assembly. Okay, so people can protest. They don't need to, even seek permission to be able to do so. But the thing is that you must be peaceful. And all of us must also realize that, well, if you are protesting and you're already carrying a machete, you are carrying dangerous weapons, then the police will talk about its responsibility to preserve the Public Order Act of 1979. But Section 45 of this same Constitution, when we talk about, the right to protest and all that, says that, government can restrict some of those rights. No rights are absolute. Yes. There's no such thing as absolute freedom. So what is important is to continue to stress the point about peace, peaceful conduct. So, but in any case, the protests in Nasarawa, in many of the states, that's not the only state where people took to the streets. Even in Rivers, there was protests about the outcome of the election. And if the people think that they've been robbed and that INEC is compromised, yes, they have the right to make that kind of statement. But the police should be careful, because part of the problem we have in Nigeria is that when the police say they have banned protests, they resort to lawlessness too.
Absolutely.
When they say they are applying force, the force that is applied is excessive. So the police in Nasarawa State should also be restrained and make sure that in protecting public order, it does not violate the people's rights. And in the event that anybody goes ahead to protest, let them not shoot anybody.
Absolutely.
As they did, on previous occasions, creating issues of human rights. The Constitution gives you the right. The African Charter also gives you the right to express your grievances, although in a peaceful manner.
All right. We'll take our final story in London, England, where the founder of Afe Babalola University in Nigeria, Afe Babalola, has donated £10 million to establish a learning center at King's College in London. The institution is to be named the Afe Babalola African Center for Transitional Education, and it will enable young Africans to access education and opportunities which they would otherwise not have been able to. In a statement, King's College said the new center would offer blended and online programs and also offer postgraduate level modules which can be brought together to create professionally recognized qualifications from diplomas to master's degrees, and that the £10 million will provide scholarships alongside other funding partners to support interested and qualified students. I mean, this is so amazing. This is just, I love the transfer of knowledge in that manner.
I mean, this is a laudable one.
Yes.
And the good thing is, and kudos to Babalola, is well in his 90s now.
Yes.
That's a great way
93.
to... 93 now. I mean, that's a great way to leave legacy for the generation yet unborn. And also for the studying of African culture itself. Because I'm confident about the African culture, and I see there's going to be an Africa Renaissance. It's already happening worldwide. You know, the acclimatization of the world to our Afrobeat music and part of our culture. We need to teach them even more by having various African centers. And it's the beginning you are seeing with this, you know, setting them up as an institution like King's College in London that is known for, you know, its academic prowess and all of that. A lot of people can benefit from it. Because the seed planted today, you don't know how well it will germinate.
Absolutely.
Many years down the line, you start seeing a lot of people that can benefit from it. It pretty much reminds me of the story it said about John Harvard's, was it $400 gift to what was to become Harvard University today. And you can see the effect Harvard has made in the world too. Today, this gift of £10 million sterling to this African center, sort of like an endowment to start it up, can go a long way. But I'll also quickly make a case. It is also time for us in equipping our universities here to look at endowment as a means of developing our university. Some schools have been able to crack it properly as regards endowment. Pan-Atlantic University is one of them. A lot of endowment when they went to them. But our federal university, also to be able to develop them, you know, you need a lot of endowment because most of the British universities rest on this endowment. St. John's College, you know, in top universities like Oxford, all of them rest on this endowment. So it's another way of looking at endowment model.
All right, well said, Rufai.
Thank you.
Thank you all for your great analysis on what's trending today. I'm sure I felt like you wanted to say something.
Yes, I was going
quickly.
to say this is also a good example, not just about the age of Chief Afe Babalola. It's giving back also to his alma mater.
Yeah.
Yes.
He studied economics in that university. He studied law, you know, in that university too. And he continues to give to education, not just in his own university, but also at the University of Lagos,
Absolutely.
where he was voted best pro-chancellor,
Absolutely.
you know, at a time.
Well, congratulations to Nigeria. Congratulations to
Thank you.
Afe Babalola. Thank you very much for your great analysis on what's trending today. Well, that's all I have for you on what's trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.